This is a Montie moment. I'm Johnny Montalbano. We get you ready for the NCAA Tournament, and we head to the Midwest region where Alabama, who is the number one overall seed in this NCAA Tournament, but the betting public has Houston as the consensus favorite to win the national championship in what oddmakers are believing is a very wide open tournament. And Houston is in this Midwest region, and this is a region where I like to call it the guard bracket, and it is littered with them here, as you have number one Houston's the duo of Marcus Sasser and Jamal Shadd, although Sasser did leave his conference tournament injured. We'll see how, if he comes back, how effective he's going to be. You have second seed Texas, Marcus Carr and Shajabari Rice. Number 3, Xavier's Colby Jones and Sully Baum. Number 4, Indiana's Jalen Hood Shifno. And 5th seed Miami's Isaiah Wong, Niger Pack, and Jordan Miller. And the 10th seed Penn State Nittany Lions have an answer to all of the names above in senior guard Jalen Pickett. Guard's a big thing when it comes to the tournament. You need them to win in March, and several of the teams in this region have difference makers at the position. So we'll see what kind of difference, kind of effect they're going to make. You look at Houston here; they're coming off a final. Despite the fact they're coming off of a Final Four and an Elite Eight appearance the past 2 seasons, despite the fact that their only 2 regular seasons losses are by a combined 7 points, including 2 fellow top seed Alabama, I'm not really sold by the Cougars. But, when you look at their matchup against Northern Kentucky on Thursday, I will take them in the opening round. But there's just something to them. You look at their schedule, they really have not played that kind of competition. I'm not taking anything away from the team itself, but, when you go up against very, very good teams, they really haven't had that test yet, and we'll see what they're going to have here. But I do think they have enough to get past Northern Kentucky in the 1/16 opening round matchup on Thursday. Texas and Colgate in the 2/15. Colgate remember last season, almost pulled off an upset special in last year's tournament, and I'd love to pick them here, especially since one of my brothers graduated from Colgate, but I just can't do it. Yes, I get it. They can make the threes, but even that against the Big 12 champs here won't be enough, so I'm going to take Texas in the 2/15. Kennesaw State in the big dance for the first time in program history, winning the ASUN championship, maybe the best story of March. And, you look at Amir Abdur-Rahim's first year as head coach with Kennesaw State, he won 1 game. And now 3 seasons later, they are in the NCAA tournament. This is as good a feel-good story as there is in March. But they're going up against one of the nation's best 3-point teams in Xavier, and that's a tough task. So I'm going to take the Musketeers in the 3-14. The 4-13 matchup in the Midwest is sneaky. There are very few men better than Indiana's 6'9" forward Trace Jackson Davis. He's coming off posting career highs in points, rebounds, assists, and block shots. But the Hoosiers have slumped at times this year, and you look at their recent games, they've had stretches where they go into scoring droughts. And if Kent State can put up a lot of points, they could pull off their first NCAA tournament win since 2002. But I am going to go with Mike Woodson's Indiana squad here, albeit a bit hesitantly in the 4-13. However, I am going to go for an upset special in the 5-12. Drake over Miami. The Bulldogs are a terrific defensive team that excels in the area of controlling opponents on the perimeter. That is an essential component of the Hurricanes' attack here. And the question is whether Drake's exceptional defense can contain a Miami team with such extraordinary ability to attack off the dribble. Drake destroyed each of his 3 Missouri Valley tournament opponents by double digits, including a 26-point blowout of regular season champion Bradley in the Arch Madness final in St. Louis. The Hurricanes are banged up here, and they are literally limping their way into the tournament. So that being said, sometimes healthy is very, very important. And if you're not healthy, you're not going to get it done. And I think Drake's going to get it done here in the 5-12. So give me the 12th seeded Drake Bulldogs in an upset special over the Miami Hurricanes in that 5-12. The 6-11 matchup, to me, it doesn't matter who Iowa State plays. I have them advancing. They beat Baylor recently, and the way they defend is going to pose a challenge to whoever they play, whether that's I think the one team that could give them more of a trouble would be Pittsburgh if they win their first 4 matchup, but I just don't think I still think either of those games, those 2 teams, I should say, are not going to get it done against Iowa State. So I'm going to take the Cyclones in the 6-11. The 7-10 matchup, I have to tell you, this is one where I think there's a bit of controversy when you look at the selection committee, because Texas A&M is a 7 seed for the second best team in the SEC. a 7th seed for a top 40 team in both offensive and defensive efficiency, a 7th seed for a team that has 12 quad 1 and quad 2 wins. The same can almost be said for Penn State, looking at them in the 10th seed, but because they're coming off of 6 quad 1 wins in the last month plus. But I look at this game, this is actually one of my favorite games in this region because it's going to be Wade Taylor the fourth against Jalen Pickett. It's an awesome matchup of two guards in this spot. And you know what? As much as I said that the committee is disrespecting Texas A&M, I'm going to do it too here. I'm going to go with the Nittany Lions in this one in the 7-10. And then finally, I think Iowa gets past Auburn in the 8-9. Sometimes less explanation is more, folks. Iowa relies on its shot making. Auburn wins on defense. Auburn doesn't score. So I'm going to take the offensive team in this spot. So I think Iowa wins and advances to the second round. So I do have two double-digit teams getting out of the Midwest. I do have Drake as the 12 seed. I have Penn State as the 10. And I do think this is also a region that will not have a number 1 seed going into the Final Four. So that's what we're looking at here in the Midwest. For more, like us on Facebook and Twitter at GameOnETB. You can follow me on Twitter at Montalbano NY, and you can check out all of our March Madness Monty moments on our YouTube channel at youtube.com/ETB Network. Subscribe, hit that notification bell so you know when all of our content will come out, and of course, leave a like as well. And also check out our website at etbpodcast.com. This has been a Monty moment. I'm Johnny Montalbano.